Evening, welcome back to Thronebreaker. It's been a while since we last played, but we finally have some time to be able to do so. That's for a practice battle, isn't it? Having more trinkets would be useful, but I'd rather keep the currency for the next set of upgrades. I think I prefer the longsword to the warhammer, just because of the fact that you can push people on the board, as opposed to just strengthening something for the next deck, next round. And giving stuff armor is probably more useful. I should probably take out the field medics because I don't really like seeing them. If I just wanted to get some more pikemen, I could. Be more efficient at thinning out my deck, but... See, having one forager might not be the worst thing, because then I could destroy the Lyrian banner, but it's handy just to have for the cooldown. Transform a damaged unit into a bear. Interesting. I think I've got some more regiment drummers. That might not be a bad idea, but just thinning out the deck is probably the best thing to go for. Let's get a couple of regiment drummers. It would be better than the field medics anyway.
Yes, Your Grace?
It's time I attended to other matters.
Okay. Yeah, whenever I saw those field medics, I was never happy to see them because half the time I just get a single Rivian pikeman out of the graveyard, so not the most useful things.
Here the damage seems not so great.
It appears Nilfgaard's not yet turned its forces towards the capital. We're likely to encounter no more than pathfinders and foragers.
So I hope.
Oh, cool. A rock golem. Puzzle special rules. Cool. Eliminate all foes. Right, so it has death wish responding 2 of it, so I need to kill it 3 times to make a Dow and then kill the Dow. Okay, so what have we got? We can shoot for 1. We don't have a loyalty abilities. Destroy units with right and boost self by power. As a matter of fact, boost self by current power instead. Spawn 2 light infantry. Damage all units on a roll. Give a charge to units with a depleted order. Which is only the Wagenburg, isn't it? Yeah, it's only the Wagenburg. So we just need to deal 1 damage, but the best thing to do is get the Wagenberg out first, isn't it?
I'm a monster.
And then use that to wipe that roll. McDowell. It's definitely just to spawn 2 lesser Dows. Right. So then we need to drop a war wagon.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf I am.
So then we shoot for 6.
Lyria!
Company! Forward march!
So that shoots for 5. Right.
Oh, I'd be ashamed to let this beauty go to waste.
Death Wish. Cool. I'm guessing the other thing you could do was use the foragers to eat your infantry that do damage. Right, what does the Marana runestone do for me as a trinket? Heal all allies and boost them by 2. So I guess if we're taking a lot of damage, it's better than the Lyrian Horn, but otherwise the Lyrian Horn's just better. In case we come around to that from the left. Nothing to talk about now? You guys just hosting a regiment there, nothing to say. Alright. Puzzle battle.
The Nilfgaardian invasion necessitated certain steps. Neve had dispatched scrolls to her garrison commanders, based upon which they were to announce general musters. She'd hoped that by the time she reached Crydam, fresh recruits would be waiting to join her growing force. Alas, the commander of this fort, one Sergeant Griggs, had only bad news.
Your Majesty, I've not the numbers to man the walls even. The call to arms brings few new recruits and more men desert each day. Folk are terrified something awful. They don't believe in victory.
We can make a speech.
They don't believe in victory?
The Queen rose from behind the table, toppling her chair.
Then let them hear how I smashed the Blackclads at Travagrad.
Quick as can be, the commander gathered all Crydam's inhabitants in the central square. Neve stepped out in front of the crowd and recounted her most recent victory. The folk of Crydam listened with bated breath.
And so, we must stand together. Fight, arm in arm. Be a wall against which black-clad hordes will be dashed.
The townsfolk responded with thunderous applause. Yet enthusiasm is rarely long-lived. That born of Meave's fiery words had dispersed after but a few days. No new volunteers joined the garrison, and the townsfolk hid from Sergeant Griggs to avoid being pressed into service. Neither the towns nor the Queen's own company were reinforced, and Meave left Crydam angry as a wasp.
Well, I mean, it's not like offering them more money would have really helped either, would it?
No will to fight amongst the common folk. You see the dregs I've got to endure those. You see the dregs.
Dragon! A live one, seen it with my own eyes. Had wings like a bat and a mess of teeth.
I mean, you might not be wrong, buddy, given what I can see at the bottom of the screen there.
A dragon! A live... A dragon!
Might not be a dragon though, might just be a drake. I already have max morale, so... Sure, let's have a go at this puzzle. However, kill the wyvern. If there are no cows left, lose the battle. So cows have no ability. Every 2 turns on turn start, consume a random cow. Okay, so I've got 10 turns? 9 turns. I have to be careful not to kill the cows as well. And he's gaining health from that.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Lyria! One bolt.
Discipline shall bring us victory.
That wasn't too bad. Trick is just not to kill the 2 cows at the top first, because then you'll have a lot less time. So we can probably go up this way first before we go down south. You've got a shrine there for the moment.
Something's wrong at Abbott's Ravine. I heard whinnies and screams at first. How all's gone silent. Why ever do the gods punish us so? Night on the High Road, a day afore last, claimed the beast's called a girly Cora or some such. Why ever do the gods...
Girly Cora. What would a girly Cora be? Can't talk to the swarthy blacksmith now.
A contract on a monster. Interesting.
That contract I already did because it was for the wyvern. I guess that means I don't get paid for it, huh? Oh well.
Lady.
So that's the main way we have to go for the story. Cross that bridge. I was just down here, wasn't I? Letters are R1. I wouldn't be that one then. Alright, so 2 benches, a tree. Maybe we'll come across it further on this way.
As Meave and company traversed the ruddy meadows, strident voices reached their ears.
I beg your pardon. I've heard enough. A duel. I challenge you to a duel.
A duel? Nonsense. I'd sooner lay you across my lap and give your ass a thorough flailing, you scoundrel.
The Queen approached the arguing parties. 2 nobles, Lords Cartwright and Mansfield. Quickly she ascertained they were up in arms over ownership of an orchard lying between their estates. Assisting both nobles, their kinsmen, armed to the teeth, prepared to leap at each other and crush heads. Upon spotting Meave, the lords lowered their voices, bowed and presented themselves. Yet they could not keep their ire fettered long, and were soon casting aspersions again.
Your Grace, Mansfield has seized it. No, stolen my land. Land that has been in my family for generations.
It is my recompense for your reckless deeds. to burn down me mill in Furchin for a bit of sawdust in your flour? Well, I never.
A bit? A bit? Oh, let me at him. Farmhand's taken ill, cook's feverish, all from that manure. You are a fraud, sir. A fraud and a thief.
Though she faced the not at all trifling matter of the Nilfgaardian invasion, Meve agreed to settle this matter. Reynard, who knew the history of every Lyrian and Rivian family 7 generations back, served as her advisor.
No doubt I would find the Cartwrights. They are in the right here, as regards the title to the land. Yet your grace must consider, the Mansfields have ever served the crown and never delayed payment of tribute. Whereas the Cartwrights are litigious charlatans who owe the royal treasury thousands, many thousands.
I mean, personally, I just ordered the Archer to be divided, because, you know, that way it'll keep the peace, but I have a feeling that wouldn't work out because someone's still getting mad about it. If they're in the right and they own the land, then
this situation is clear as the day,
said the Queen.
The orchard's rightfully Cartwrights and must remain so.
Your Grace!
Mansfield started angrily.
For years I've loyally served the crown.
I ask that you continue to do so and respect my judgment then.
Lord Mansfield turned green, then red, then blue, as he passed from envy through irritation to deep ire. Yet in the end he accepted his ruler's judgment. Lord Cartwright, his joy hardly contained, knew how to show gratitude, ordering the best of his men-at-arms to join Meve's force.
What is it, Mansfield? Hey, whence the frown? Do you not agree with your queen? What is it, Mansfield?
Yeah, I figure if I'd split the Archer between them, then they would have probably just both been mad at me for not solving the problem, so... Oh, wait, there we go. So yeah, we cleared out that upper area. We missed something to pick up down there? Huh, could have sworn I grabbed everything. Okay. How did I miss so much stuff? Right. Can I get into this field? I don't think I can. Man, I did a really bad job of looking over these areas, didn't I? I should probably just fast travel through the rest of the map and scout the whole thing. Sure. Okay, so we hadn't explored across that bridge yet, so that's fine. We should probably just double back and scout just to make sure we didn't miss anything in the areas, because I probably did, because I'm dumb. Okay, not that much here. I missed so much stuff over there.
Your Majesty!
I missed a chest. All areas of view, right? Okay. So yeah, scouts are definitely incredibly useful. I missed a point of interest over here. What? Okay, I'm not actually sure even how to get down there. I think I assumed I couldn't, that's why I missed out on that stuff. So you definitely need scouts, as it turns out. Yeah, look at that sneaky path. Didn't even see that. So I can trade some wood for coin or some coin for wood. I do have a lot more money than wood, and I'm getting money from winning matches, so let's buy some wood, sure. So through the estate, you know. I think someone will come by and put out the fire eventually. It's been a little while. I missed out on the vote on that fight. I want you for the Lyria. I'm guessing that's for getting a certain amount of resources or something. It does seem like the best idea is to comb the map as thorough as you can before you get to the end of it, then scout it out, because you'll have to pay less for the scouts to find everything that remains. But you definitely want to use the scouts.
On their way to the capital, Neve and company happened one fine day upon a lone rider. Had I been at her side, I would immediately have recognized his passionate gaze and altogether chivalrous mien.
Identify yourself, sir, and your intent.
Ake of Denel, I am dubbed, and my design I never conceal. The good book says the world is a garden.
Oh, he's a dragon slayer guy, isn't he?
Conferred upon man. And we men have this garden neglected. In consequence, all manner of filth has made its lair here. Drowners, ghouls, and other kobolds. I have sworn ne'er to rest until the day when, with the gods' help, I have rid the world of these beasts and pests. I wander all lands, seeking out evil and facing it.
Yeah, how'd that go when you fought off Villain Tremeth,
You're
huh?
a spy, a knight errant.
Just as likely a madman.
How goes your hunt?
How goes your hunt? Caught the trail of any monster?
Monster? Too fair a term by far. An exceptionally vile worm has made its lair in nearby caverns. It is said to be the very distillation of filth. A slither in horror. A melange of the macabre. Its head, that of a wild cat of Ophir. Its maw full of spiked teeth. The wings of a bat it is said to have.
I always seen dragons got wings of a bat for.
A thick venom drips.
Is it dragon wings?
Learned men call this variety a
Manticore.
manticore or mardiacore.
Perhaps it will be most prudent, then, to send for a witcher.
A witcher? Soulless automatons they are, all, feeding on common folks' fears. What they demand gold to do, I perform without demand of any coin.
Sir Ake, far be it from me to discourage you. Your endeavor is noble, no doubt. But from what I have heard, manticores are exceedingly dangerous beasts.
To defeat this filth alone could be a difficult task, I'll not deny. Yet try it I must, for it is what I have sworn before the gods.
How can I help you?
We shall help you find and fight the manticore, provided you then pledge to help us fight an even fiercer and filthier beast.
Of course, my lady. Yet what manner of horror is it? A viper? A griffin? A drake of some rare form?
Were it only. 'Tis a beast of 1,000 heads, covered in black armor, its fire consuming whole villages.
Noble lady, I know bestiaries only in parts, yet I've seen some of the world, and never have I heard of such a terror.
You need but look about you, and spot Nilfgaard's legions.
Devastating. But you must forgive me, Your Grace. This struggle between realms is not one to which I can lay a hand.
A manticore. How great is its appetite? How many men does it fell? In a moon, let us say.
It changes. At a time when the horror broods, it may be as many as 20.
I see. As now you must. Nilfgaard in my capital could mean as many as 20,000 felled. You live to fight evil, injustice, do you not? You can fight none greater than by doing so at my side.
The manticore, Your Grace, must fall first. As to what happens later, I shall need to consult the good book and petition the gods.
You do that, buddy.
Agreed, so be it. This monster, where lies its lair? Where does it prowl?
To the north, my queen. A few leagues
Follow the trail of devastation.
I see you found the mess tent. How's the ale? Not too warm, I hope.
I don't
It is
think he
not for
drinks.
me to say, Your Majesty. My tankard holds but milk of the goat.
Milk? A witless prank. I shall tell the quartermaster at once what I think of such...
Unnecessary, Your Grace. I called for the beverage.
Is that so? Well then.
The good book states clearly, the shadow of spirits obscureth light most true, and leadeth thee from the path of virtue.
Right.
Don't think I might be the same
there's something
spirits.
to it.
My soul sings to hear your affirmation, Your Grace. If ever you wish to discuss the good book and the wisdoms contained therein, hesitate not to find me.
Certainly, I shall remember that. Your crusade against monsters. Have you been at it long?
Come next Bellatane, it will be 20 years, Your Grace. Though, there was one extended interruption.
For what reason? Had you grown weary of the knight-errant's life?
Not in the least. Never shall I cease in my quest to cleanse the world of filth and abominations. But at times evil puts up rather a good fight. I ventured forth to slay a dragon once. A gold one, as it were. Calling itself Villa Tretolmeft, or the like. Its very name
Pretty close.
Of vile toil for the tongue and wafting wickedness. A great many mercenaries embarked on the hunt, lured by the promise of coin in heaps. The Crinford Reavers, Yarpen Zigrin, and a band of dwarves. Even, curse the word, a witcher. One
And a sorceress.
lecherous sorceress at his side.
That name I've heard.
But at the deciding moment, when the beast challenged all, I alone emerged to face it. Alas,
Not quite.
shame burns me to admit it. I returned from the battle upon my shield. Figuratively. Literally. I returned in pieces. For 2 years, I lay in the temple of Melitele in Alanda. Mother Neneke, God's protector, nursing me back to full health. And only when I
At
could
the
once
behest
more
of the
grip
Witcher.
my sword did I return to the path I'd chosen.
And the dragon? What was its fate?
Some claim it flew off to Zerrikania, though it very well might yet lurk here, awaiting the opportune moment to terrorize the folk of the north again.
Farewell, Ake.
Right, so we've got 2 new cards. Let's have a look at them and see what they do. We've got Ake. Whenever an ally takes damage, strengthen himself. Well, that's pretty good. What about the Demetrian Bomb? Restore all enemy units to their base power. Well, yeah, that's pretty useful considering those stupid Nilfgaardian guys were buffing themselves by 6 billion.
Not a scrap. Not a scrap. Nothing to bury. Blood's all that's left behind. A whole village. Just one big grave now.
If all that's left is blood, then you'd best stick it in a jar, I suppose.
"'Tis in these ravines. The beast is near. I sense it."
At the furthest depth of the winding, gloomy canyon, scouts found the maw of a great cavern. Among the boulders outside it, whitening bones lay strewn. Ake dismounted and drew his blade.
"By the god's grace, we've found the beast's lair,"
He said, lifting his gaze to the heavens.
"We need them but to extend their favor as we battle the filth."
Meve cast a critical eye at her shield. Wood clad in leather and thin plate. Enough to stop a sword, certainly, but would it protect her from a beast's raging blow? Noticing her hesitation, Reynard approached the Queen and said,
Your Grace, None will utter a disparaging word should you step back.
But they will think them,
replied Meve.
and that's bad enough. The war has begun. I can't appear weak to my fighting men.
Without awaiting an answer,
Darn it.
Meve strode into the cave. The rest of the company followed, equally full of fear and faith in their queen and commander. Moments later, a great and powerful roar filled the cavern.
Eliminate the manticore. Oh boy, they got a whole bunch of things. Okay, they're immobile. Damage self by 6 whenever an heirloom is destroyed. Okay. Move a random enemy from a ranged row to the melee row. Move a random enemy from melee row to the ranged row. So the wings cause your guys to move around. Left leg, damage all units on the melee row by 2. Damage all units in ranged row by 2. Destroy the leftmost unit on the melee row. Whenever an enemy moves, damage it. So we need to get rid of the legs and tail before we start hitting the main head, but I wish I would blacklist those when I get rid of them. So we've got one of the Lyrian pikemen, so we can get rid of the rest of the pikemen. And then that could be the last thing we play when everything else is taking damage, because he'll deal a ton of damage to it.
And I beheld the beast! Profane horns didst adorn his wicked brow!
Gods protect us.
Beware its claws! The hardest plate they shred like fine vellum!
I don't need to boost any oil abilities yet, do I? No, not yet. May as well boost it just to keep him alive. It only has a 2-turn cooldown.
Left, right.
He damages it, destroy the leftmost
right.
unit in the melee row. Right.
Lyria!
So we need to destroy that first, really. 2 damage apiece is fine. Straight up destroy, not so much. So we need to play the Lyrian pikeman.
Pays late. Again.
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads.
Beware! Its tail flows with deadly venom!
Again and again and again.
One bolt I need. Give me a target.
It's like a roof tail.
Vile poison to yourself.
Our ballista, your command.
Can't take it anymore.
So that'll then death wish those guys, they'll damage random enemy by 5. Assuming of course they don't get moved. I kind of want to decoy X so I can shoot for an R16 because that would practically do the job.
The unworthy shall be punished.
Yeah, we got this.
We must thank the gods for this victory, both great and just.
Man, yeah, getting stronger when your guys get hurt and then shooting something for a huge amount is pretty good. Pretty good.
With Ache at their side, the Lyrians fell the Manticore. Later, it was said, the beast's dying wail, multiplied and strengthened as it passed through the caverns, could be heard as far as Spala.
Your Grace, many monarchs have I met in my time, yet none proved as virile in battle as did your Majesty.
Virile? I dislike the term. Seems not to suit a woman. I prefer valiant. Yet grateful I am for the compliment. Now pray reveal, have you made your decision? Will you swear to serve me? Are you prepared to take an oath?
I am not, Your Grace. I can serve only the gods. Yet, I do believe them to be on your side as one unjustly and treacherously attacked. Thus I see nothing wrong in assisting you.
Then I am content and welcome you in my ranks, Sir Ake of Denel.
The knight-errant bowed low from the waist. So low, in fact, the gambeson neath his mail creaked. Meave could only hope he would battle Nilfgaardians as boldly as he faced beasts.
Trophy earned for the good book states. What does a Manticore trophy do? Okay. Can I only have one of those in my deck, I'm guessing? Trophies. That gives me ability to reduce cooldown by 1. Whenever an enemy appears in that field, damage it at random by 1 or 2. The loyalty abilities and loyalty triggers seem more useful than just damaging enemies by 1 or 2. Especially since most of the stuff I really want to murder has generally had armor. Yeah, I think the Worrying Banner is better.
Hallowed mother. Not a scrap.
Bandits.
One of them golden stones belongs on the side of my own ship. Nilfgaardians make for good prisoners, good slaves too.
I wonder if because I sent them after the Nilfgaardians, if they hadn't, there'd be a Nilfgaardian camp here to fight.
But the meat inside's red. One of them golden sons.
Interesting. Murdering vengeance. Oh, destroy the highest ally and play 2 allies from your graveyard. I wonder if that would let you play the ally you just destroyed? But still, giving most of your guys to get buff from boosts, not strengthens, and that'll be the most useful thing. I'll pay for the damage.
Lots of folk moving about of late. Fair Lyria is our own land, charming, fertile and grand. Is your majesty also bound for the river, to camp there perchance? Lots of folk moving.
One evening, soldiers brought before Meve the elf she had saved from a lynching. It seemed he had been the fiend who had poisoned the water barrels from which several soldiers had drunk, then suffered and died.
Yes, I did it. And I regret it not one bit.
Seethed the elf.
Nilfgaardian, Temerian, some brute from Lyria, you Dwan are all alike. I detest you. All of you, you filth for what you wrought with my brethren. I'm proud. I am that even a few of your kind perished at my hand. Hail and Shay.
Meve pursed her lips into a thin white line. Reynard knew the expression. It did not bode well.
I should drag you to the capital. Hang you high in the market square.
Meve said through gritted teeth.
Yet this you would want. Am I right? For your folk to speak of you? For your folk to remember? Well, you shan't have it. You'll hang here, in the middle of nowhere, with but crows to witness it and then pick at your eyes.
It was a summary execution. No sentence was read, no last wish observed. The elf's corpse then hung long at the roadside, as none came forth to claim and bury it.
Well, that's a lesson learned about, you know, king and strays, but...
Welcome you home, your majesty. Prince Willem awaits your return, your grace. Good you've returned, ma'am. Prince Willem awaits your return.
Home at last, your grace.
Mm-hmm. We shall not enjoy it long, I fear. Soon we must face the black-clads in the field.
Yet a moment's peace we will have. After that drubbing you gave them at Dravograd, they'll wish to rethink their strategy.
Found 10 of 10 golden chests. Alright.
Meve had ridden out of Lyria in early spring, her retinue modest, as none larger was needed for the brief summit of sovereigns. She returned now to her capital, at the head of an army that dragged behind it bandits and Nilfgaardian prisoners in chains. The whole city came out to greet her. Its traders, craftsfolk, priests. Also, her eldest son and heir, Prince Willem. A boy who, it seemed, might never be prepared to rule. Niamh and Willem rode side by side past the cheering throngs, their faces frozen in regal smiles. It was not until they reached the castle stables that they found a corner in which to speak freely, candidly.
Welcome home, Mother. Content I am to see you, to be sure.
And I'm happy to see you. Though I dare say I'd have been much happier to witness you leading an army towards Dravigrad. Willem, I trusted you. Left the realm in your care.
Indeed. And I, in turn, did my utmost to choose the best course for...
Willem, don't be so damned courtly. There's no one else here. My son. Nilfgaard has invaded our home. We're at war. When rulers don't strive and don't choose, when rulers grab their swords and shields and ride out to defend their subjects.
You didn't let me finish.
All right.
All right. Say what you wanted to, please.
I feared I'd be hasty, Mother, and I didn't want to be. When we got word of the invasion, the lords convened at the castle. They demanded I hear them out. They wanted to give me counsel. If I'd rushed into the field to confront the foe, I'd have been half blind to the situation, not known all the options I had at my disposal.
A ruler never knows all the options. Yet he must decide and act nonetheless. I need to prepare. I'll see you at the Council of Peers.
And indeed she did, when the peers convened in the throne room. Surrounded by animal hides and Zerrikanian tapestries, the Lord stood in tense silence, awaiting the Queen. When her figure filled the doorway, they fawningly prostrated themselves.
We've myriad matters to resolve, so I trust you're well rested. Whatever the case, I've no doubt we shall meet the dawn afore we're done. Firstly, we must ask assistance. Pen a letter to King Demavend. Scribe, take this down. Dear... What? Uncle? Cousin? Blast. Again. I, Niamh, by the God's grace, sovereign of Rivia and...
Your Grace. Mother. The peers and I, we've come to propose another solution.
Yes? Out with it.
We wish to acknowledge Nilfgaard's authority. Pledge fealty to the Emperor.
I beg your pardon.
The black-clad hordes outnumber our forces manyfold, and they're far better equipped. We stand not the slightest chance against them in open...
You will not lecture me about Nilfgaard's army, my son. All you know of them you garnered from coloured renderings, whereas I faced them at Dravigrad. I faced them and crushed them.
But your grace, the losses. For this fleeting victory in which you delight, how many of your subjects had to perish? Bend a knee afore the Emperor, and you shall spare thousands.
Nay, never. Understood, Caldwell. Not ever.
I'd hoped to persuade
Never trust your Grand Vizier.
Failed. Nonetheless, the die's been cast. We've signed the accord with Nilfgaard. Our noble lords stand with me.
The blood left Niamh's face. She had realized her son, who had ever professed to detest politics and shirked his duties as crown prince, had just stabbed her in the back, as had her entire court.
Oh dear.
What is this? Treason to my eyes. The gallows is what awaits you.
Willem rules Lyria now. And should you not acquiesce and approve the accord, I fear only you, milady, shall have the pleasure to meet the hangman.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Caldwell. My mother will not be harmed. Not one hair on her head. Understood? Confine the Queen to the tower.
You err deeply, my son.
The Queen was confined to a cell. Gilded armor she had traded for a simple robe. A courtly retinue for a swarm of rats. She was the very picture of misery. At the window of her cell, gripping the bars, Niamh stood powerless, her anger so great she wept and wailed. Her Lyria was free no more.
Have I come at a bad time?
Demons take you, Caldwell. You've long been on this scheme, haven't you? You left the strays of Sparla to roam the realm, to forage, so that I would have to look to them. And thus gained your cohorts the time they needed to complete Lyria's sail to Nilfgaard.
You've seen through it all, that's clear. After the fact, of course. But still, I'm not nearly the poor strategist you thought me.
Willem, you turned him. How?
The boy's not fit to wear the crown. Hasn't sufficient wit nor valor. I know this. You know this. Just, he knows it not. Willem fancied himself a statesman. Wished terribly to prove he was one. I made it possible. I've been amply rewarded, I have. Palatine since just yesterday, in fact.
You'll have neither my blessing nor congratulations. Sorry to disappoint you.
I seek neither. I've come for another reason. To bid you adieu. Willem does not seek your death. Does not even fathom it, as you well know. Moreover, his resolve will wilt in time, and he'll wish to free you. So, come the morn, when the young king rides out to pledge fealty afore General Ep Dahi, you shall use your bed linens to hang yourself.
Yeah, go plough yourself, Cowell.
I see. You wish to see me bow afore you, lie prostrate, beg you for mercy, plough yourself with a pike, Caldwell. And even send your thugs. I'll not falter nor hesitate. I'll take my own life.
Adieu, your grace, and use your last evening wisely.
Meve felt a rush of despair, yet bit her lip to mute any weeping. No, she would not give Caldwell the satisfaction. Morning arrived with the sound of footsteps in the corridor. Meve rose from her cot and stood in the center of her cell. She was prepared for anything. Well, nearly anything.
The Duke of Dogs.
Titles seem senseless under the circumstances, don't you think? Let's forgo them. I'm Gascon.
Has Caldwell sent you? To kill me?
No and a no. Actually, you're free. How shall I put this? That cad, Count Caldwell, used yours truly and the strays as bait in a scheme aimed at kicking your shapely backside off your throne. Now, I'm hardly vindictive. First to forgive, in fact. Take your threat to send me to the gallows. Forgotten already. Yet being played for a fool, I cannot abide. So when the strays freed me, I knew what I'd do to spite the Count afore I disappeared. I'd free you. That's to say, on one condition. You've got to request it of me, my lady. Courteously.
I'd sooner die.
Never. I'd rather die in this cell.
Steadfast as ever. Even with death hanging over you. Calling me impressed, I must admit. Call it my loss, then. You are free.
I'm grateful. Now please let me pass. I must get to the city jail at once.
Would you look at this one? Free her from one prison, she flies off to the next.
They hold Reynard there. And if I've any ally left, anyone who's not betrayed me, it's him. I must get him out.
Hold, my lady. Unarmed, alone.
Have I any other option?
In a sense. See, they locked a few strays in the city pits, too. Got a common cause, I'd say. Care to join forces?
The Queen took Gascon up on his offer. Then she, Gascon, and the strays snuck through the city to its dungeon. Reynard had not wavered for a moment in his devotion to the Queen. Never the slouch, he had also not lost any time.
I've inquired among the other arrested soldiers. Many are prepared to fight, even die at your side, your grace.
Seems they may yet get their chance. But now we must flee. All of us.
Yet in leaving the jail, the company ran into trouble. When Caldwell's cutthroats had failed to find Meve in her cell waiting for her secret execution, they had informed the Count. He, in turn, dispatched patrols into the streets. The Queen and her cohorts ran into one such unit.
Blast. We shan't outrun them. To arms!
Find an escape route. Once an escape route is found, gain more points than your opponent within 3 turns. Interesting.
Gascon? Bloody hell, where'd he get to?
Your Grace, we must make haste. Caldwell's roused the whole city by now.
Order. Choose a dark alley to escape down. Either an escape route obviously or a room with Caldwell's reinforcements.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to... Cursed traitors.
I don't have the resilience thing.
Aye. Sod it. Sod it all. Should have listened to me old lady.
Didn't think I'd leave you just like that, did you?
Honestly, I did.
Don't like this.
Watch your heads!
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Your Grace, what guarantee do we have that they won't stab us in the back? The chase is on!
As you wish, my lady.
You dirty tart.
Wait, what?
Oh, Lady Margarita told us of this.
Add 2 copies of it to your deck and boost all copies in the hand deck and on battlefield by 2. Jeez.
Catch!
Left, right, left, right.
This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
There's only one dark alley left. I actually can't move units now with the trade slingers.
I bit the white of an eye from half a league away.
Damn, why did he get boosters? If they were units, damage them by 2. Why did he get +5? Oh, if an ally is moved to the other roll, move next set and boost it by 1, because it still triggers for 1. That's dumb.
Cursed traitors.
I'll relieve you of that pouch.
Ah, we're fine. We still win.
I thank you, Gascon. You and your men, for your aid.
'Tis now, my lady. Strays never say no to a proper brawl.
No brawl this was. Sun rising against Mother. Lyrian striking at Lyrian. I fear a blood war's begun.
Come now. Seems to me the war's ended. Your realm's lost to Nilfgaard. You've no army to speak of.
Then I shall assemble a new one. And with it have Caldwell hanged, and drive Nilfgaard back across the Yaruga.
You're mad. How will you find the men? Riding from hamlet to hamlet, speaking from atop a crate?
No. I shall find them in Edirn. I've a favour to call in with King Demavend, and I'll sway volunteers to my cause on the way.
Well, you've your first willing warriors already.
How so?
We've nothing left in Lyria. Our hideouts are compromised. Caldwell's sure to set a price on our heads, and Nilfgaardians roam the land in numbers. Besides, I'll be right tickled to see proud Queen Meve fighting elbow to elbow with a bandit she'd wish to hang just a half day afore.
Well, it is said my foe's foe is my friend, and I'd be a fool to turn down assistance now, no matter who offers. So be it.
Very high-minded of you, my lady. So, shall we shake on? Nay? Well then, the high road beckons. Though first we must escape the city with our lives. Follow me.
Lyria was hers no more. Meve now had to flee her capital and realm as quickly as she could. Wont to travel the city streets in a gilded carriage, the Queen now saw them from a slightly different vantage point.
Ugh. Is this the only way? Are you quite certain? The Queen
is a common fugitive now, so she'd do better to pinch her nose and whinge not at all.
At long last, Meve reached the gate. Yet this she found shut tight, locked and guarded.
Gods be damned.
Easy, Your Grace. Nothing we can't solve with a quiver full of quarrels.
Those are our men.
They were, Reynard, were.
Gascon's raiders were poised to loose their boats, but were thwarted when the Queen stepped out in front of them.
What's she? Your Majesty? I've orders to arrest Your Grace.
Place me in irons, then.
Please understand, I haven't a choice.
Fear not. You'll be rewarded by Caldwell in Nilfgaardian Florens.
The captain's head dropped. His cheeks burned crimson.
Go, Your Grace. Flee now, but only to return.
Remember this, Gascon. I'm no fugitive. I'm a queen, robbed of her rightful crown. And though I may need to venture to the world's end before I return, I shall have it back.
Never give up, never surrender.
Having fled Lyria, Queen Niamh ventured into Edirn, her old friend Reynard and new ally Gascon at her side. The war had bitten into this land too. Still, Niamh hoped to sway King Demavend to her cause, and with his aid, to oust the traitors, retake her throne, and drive the Nilfgaardian invader from her realm. Yet to start, she was forced to fight, Scoia'tael no less. Emerging from a wood, Niamh's retinue encountered a unit of elven rebels just moments from hanging a handful of prisoners. Among the latter, the Queen spotted a woman, a proud warrior with a striking, thick black braid.
The lass I believe I know.
Well, unless we rush to her rescue, it'll soon be you knew her.
Well said. Lyrians, attack!
Black Orilla. Okay, so we have to kill those guys within 5 turns. Now we have not got the Lyrian Arbalest guys anymore, do we?
Hang the butcher! Below
She can't breathe, Your Grace. We must rush to her aid.
Has to move 3 cards.
We'll catch them all!
Left, right, left, Right.
Dole! Blathana!
Free the warrior!
Oh, Lyrian lummoxes.
This boy only having you wave from your hand? Or just not having a ribbon piping anymore?
Hey?
They can't be moved.
None shall tread on us!
The elves! Scatter them! They block our path!
I don't think I can win this right now. No, I can't win this.
Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth?
We're too late. Hang the butcher! Below her!
She can't breathe, Your Grace. We must rush to her aid. We'll catch them all! I've hit the white of an eye from half a league away.
Kayam!
Free the warrior!
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
Double the student's power and refresh his order ability.
The elves! Scatter them! They block our path! Thing about slings, they hide well.
None shall tread on us!
Hey?
Oh, we just had to rescue her like that. Right. I thought we had to win the round afterwards.
The Scoia'tael warriors shocked the Queen with their speed, their cunning, and their cruelty. Yet in the end, the Lyrians prevailed. When the last elf hit the ground, the Queen had her men untie those they'd sought to hang.
1,000 thanks, Your Grace. Heard many tales of your valor. Pleased to see there weren't just flattery and propaganda.
Black Rayla. Haga, we saw you there. You command King Demoven's special forces.
That's right. Though not many remain to command. So I see. How did it come to this? My liege sent me to wipe out a Scoia'tael band, led by a rat called Eldane. Followed the vermin's tracks for several days, straight into his trap.
hunting elves in the woods. Truly inspired, I must say.
Had no choice. Doing nothing would have brought us sure a swifter doom. The Blackclad have invaded Edirn, thanks to elven aid. They snap our supply lines, lurk like dogs, prey on vulnerable units and scouts.
You mean to say Nilfgaard's broken your defenses?
Aye. Though their march will soon halt, believe me. To advance, they'll have to take Rosberg, a stronghold that's yet to fall once. They'll break against its walls like waves upon the rocks. While Edirn stands, the north is not yet lost. I'll convey your grace's words to the king at the first occasion.
I'd rather hope to convey them myself. I have come to Edirn seeking aid. I wish to ask Demavend for support.
The king is in Rosberg, overseeing siege preparations. I'm heading that way too to report on our skirmish with the Scoia'tael. I might serve as your guide. These lands I know better than any.
Okay.
Excellent. Guide on.
Oh boy, this is another big map. Right, let's check out what's new in the tents. I imagine we could build more stuff. Quite a bit more stuff. So I can get even more trinkets. Yay, Domino. Ooh, units take up 10% less of the recruit cap. That'd be pretty darn good. Increase recruit cap to 150. Increase the gold cost for units. So I can get a much stronger deck with those. Gain more gold. Gain more recruits. Recruit new units. Promote existing ones. Build Gascon units. Build Reynard units. Build new support units. Recruit new Gascon support units. Reynard support units. Play a trinket from your graveyard and give it doomed. Choose a bronze ally in the battlefield or in hand and add 2 copies of it to your deck. That could be really good with the Rivian Pikemen to be able to fill a role instantly, like, but not the best. I have to say that those workshop things, I don't really care about any of those support things. They don't seem that useful. Like replaying a trinket would be nice, but not that useful. Upgrading the war wagon to spawn more light infantry would be okay as well. Again, not really the best. When you choose your adept, I don't really need that. So yeah, I'm not going to spend any money in the workshop at the moment. Training grounds though, let's just get ourselves more gold after every fight, because that seems like it would be useful. After all, you get the things that get you more resources first, because then you have more resources for things. Oil boosts up by 7. Oh, those guys get a lot stronger. I wonder if the Strays Den or the Armory are exclusive to each other and you can't build them both. So we need to get the command tent to be able to get the recruit soldier stuff. makes sense to get that since it reduces the cost of stuff. It takes up more gold than we have, so we can't get that yet. But we could make the recruit cap less. Don't really need that badly. So we'll save up to get the command test and increase the recruit cap, because having more recruits would be handy. Oh, hang on, the recruit cap, is that not just the cap of how many guys I have? Yeah. Is the recruit cap different from the max number of recruits I can get? Because you use the word recruit for two different things, which isn't the best description. My current recruit cap is 125. I don't really have anything in orders at the moment, do I? Just the regiment drummers. Play a card from your deck. Alright, that's pretty good. Okay, so he doesn't actually shoot things normally, he just strengthens himself. And straight swingers are expensive.